Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, everybody. We do have breaking news. Take a close look at the image on your screen. The search for a Dearborn father and his 7-year-old daughter. Police in Pennsylvania are telling us that Jafar Almarez, he violated his custody order and took off with the little girl yesterday afternoon. They now believe that he is making the drive from Mill Creek, Pennsylvania in this black Jeep headed to Metro Detroit. He was last seen driving this black 4-door Jeep Wrangler. Almarez is currently wanted for kidnapping, interference with the custody of children, and terroristic threats. If you see this man or you think that you see this black Jeep Wrangler, you are asked to contact 911 right away. Again, he should be with his little 7-year-old daughter. We are also under an air quality alert. This is the 6th straight day for it, too, in Metro Detroit due to smoke from the Canadian wildfires. A live look outside in Sky 4, and you can see that smoky haze filling the sky all across our state. Ashley is taking a closer look at when we might be able to clear the air.
Yeah, absolutely, Rhonda. I mean, you just saw it for your own eyes. I mean, it is thick out there, and our air quality unhealthy for all groups up into the thumb and unhealthy for sensitive groups across the heart of the metro area. Now, our hope is that we'll be able to see some of this subside heading into tomorrow, but some of our models indicating we could get another plume of that come tomorrow, so it's not looking optimistic. But right now, here's a look at that air quality index, in which earlier this morning, Ann Arbor, Monroe, down towards Adrian, the farther south you went, we had moderate pollutants, and now we are seeing that increase on our scale. So the air quality alert is set to expire at midnight. But as I mentioned, models indicating we'll get another plume of that smoke, so I wouldn't be surprised if we were to see this extended again into tomorrow. I mean, high pressure has taken over the area. We should have blue skies, but instead we definitely have that stagnant air out there from the Canadian wildfire smoke. And so temperatures right now are definitely on the warm side. I mean, we're talking upper 70s, comfortably warm, 78 in the city, 76 in Ann Arbor, and then just shy of 80 in Pontiac and Monroe. But it almost looks as if it's overcast over our downtown skyline, and that's not the case. It's just that thick smoke layer that we are dealing with. So temperatures will be on the pleasant side today, really seasonal, low 80s, but we have the polluted air to contend with. We'll show you the model data for when that smoke hopefully pushes out coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Ashley, thank you. And we have some sad news this noon to pass along from Brandon Township, where a mother died in a fire that destroyed her mobile home this morning. It happened around 7 a.m. at the Clarkston Lakes mobile home community. This is near Sashabaw and Oak Hill Roads. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office says that their deputies, along with Brandon Township Fire, arrived to find the home fully engulfed in flames. A 46-year-old woman was trapped inside of that home, and despite attempts by neighbors to try and get her out, they were unable to save her, and she passed away. Her 13-year-old son and 2 friends did manage to escape. A neighbor spoke with us about the chaotic scene.
It was horrible. It was just everything flamed, and my house sitting that close. I was concerned, obviously, you know, anybody would be concerned, but I was more concerned about getting my neighbors, the ones that are in the house right next to it. I brought them into my house and you know, made them some coffee, and they had an infant and a son that was the same age as my daughter, so tried to, you know, get them away from that scene.
The Oakland County Sheriffs did not speak to a possible cause of that fire. It is still under investigation, but the sheriffs are saying that this is a reminder to everyone to make sure that smoke and carbon monoxide detectors are in working order. A woman charged in a deadly hit-and-run accident that killed a little boy in Livonia is due in court in about a half an hour for a key hearing in this case. Tammy Sandoval of Mount Morris is charged for hitting the family with her car and then leaving the scene. It happened in late June as a woman and her 2 children were crossing Merriman Road, leaving the Livonia Spree. It's an annual festival celebrating the city's birthday. 3-year-old Khalil Robinson died. His mother and twin sister were also injured. injured. Prosecutors say that Sandoval never should have been driving because her license was suspended. Sandoval is due for a preliminary exam at 12:30 where the judge will review the evidence against her. We'll have updates on this story in upcoming editions of Local 4 News as well as on clickondetroit.com throughout the day. Tomorrow is the August primary election. Polls open at 7 a.m., close at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. If you have not registered to vote, you can still do so at your local clerk's office until the polls close tomorrow night and still vote. Several important races and issues are on the ballots, including school bonds, city council positions in several communities. The election will also bring us a step closer to electing Detroit's next mayor. Tomorrow will narrow down the 9 candidates you see here on your screen to the top 2 that will then face off in the general election in November. Plus, we have everything that you need to know about the primary election on clickondetroit.com. You can plan ahead by scanning the QR code on your screen. That'll take you right there to our voter guide with a list of the races to expect on the ballot in your community and link to check your polling location as well. And join us tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for a special primary election edition of Local 4 News, where we're going to be bringing you all the live updates from the outcomes of the Detroit mayoral race and breaking down the big issues that you are deciding in your community all across Metro Detroit. That's at 10 p.m. tomorrow night on Local 4, streaming on Local 4 Plus and on clickondetroit.com. Over the past week, we have reported at least 8 shootings involving children and teens. And Detroit's police chief says that officers are working overtime to try and find suspects. But the community is also stepping up and calling for change. And on Sunday, neighbors went door to door asking for tips about a teen shot at the Martin Luther King Apartments. This happened last month in July. Organizers tell us it's going to take the entire community and police uniting to stop the gun violence.
It's community groups like Reverend Shabazz and block clubs that help us get the information we need and build the bridges so we can solve the crimes and make the area safer.
We understand people being scared is with good reason, but that does not solve the problem. We've got to tell.
If you or someone you know has information about any of these shootings, you can remain anonymous. You can contact Crime Stoppers at 800-SPEAK-UP, and there's always a reward for tips that lead to an arrest. Thousands joined a massive rally in Israel demanding the release of the remaining hostages in Gaza. It comes after some of those captives were seen in disturbing videos. NBC's Matt Bradley has more from Tel Aviv.
Well, as the world continues to express outrage over the humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip, Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad have released 2 videos, respectively, showing 2 of the remaining thought to be 20 hostages who are still alive in the Gaza Strip, both of them in pitiable condition. Their bones showing through their skin. At least in one video, we saw what looked like a daily menu for one of the hostages that showed just rice or lentils every day, some days with nothing at all, both of them begging to be released. Now, these videos sparked outrage here in Israel and pushed hundreds more Israelis into the streets demanding a ceasefire deal and the release of those remaining hostages. Now, negotiations over a ceasefire, those have broken up nearly 2 weeks ago. But the U.S. presidential special envoy, Steve Witkoff, he was just in Israel. He met with hostage families. He even went into the Gaza Strip to report back to President Trump on the humanitarian conditions there and aid distribution efforts. He told some dozens of family members of hostages who remain that they are pursuing an all-or-nothing deal to release those hostages. This, as Netanyahu has warned and his top officials that he is planning on ramping up military efforts in the Gaza Strip should there not be a deal to release those remaining hostages. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
All right, thank you for that update. Still ahead here at noon, the reason thousands of workers who assemble fighter jets walked off the job today. And we want to go back to the breaking news that we brought you at the top of this hour. There is a search right now for a Dearborn father and his 7-year-old daughter. Police in Pennsylvania believe that Jafar Almarej violated a custody order and took off with the little girl yesterday afternoon, and believe that he is driving in this Jeep Wrangler from Mill Creek, Pennsylvania here to Metro Detroit. And they want you to be on the lookout for a vehicle that looks like this. Last seen driving it. It's a black 4-door Jeep Wrangler. Almarej is currently wanted for kidnapping, interference with the custody of children, and terroristic threats. If you think that you see him, the little girl, this black Wrangler, you're asked to call 911.